Are you in need of some action and adventure? Come on down to the Cave of Stuff in Riboflavin. This week, our theme is the jungle. Here comes a vicious panther. Hey, Lady Hiss, you're the panther, go.
Roar! Roar! Hiss. No, wait. Roar.
They're jaguars in the movie, not panthers.
Grup, we ordered the wrong animal. I'm sorry.
How come you're always trying to make me improv? Yes, and did I do it right this time?
What, am I just supposed to continue plugging MarsCon until I die or something? Ugh.
I mean, FuMPFest is coming up.
FuMPFest? You mean the event happening this August in Chicago, Illinois, featuring the 50th anniversary celebration of the Dr. Demento show with Dr. Demento himself?
Well, that's not till August, so...
Buy your theoretical tickets now.
Fortunately, time is linear, so people will hear this and it will be true as time continues.
Linear, it's linear, the encyclopedia.
FuMPFest.com.
Linear, the time that we're stuck in.
Greetings, Internet, and welcome to another episode of A Comedy Musician Reacts. My name is Insane Ian, I am a comedy musician and comedy music fan, and this week I am reacting to two songs that feature the Stupendium. First, I'm reacting to Glorious Purpose, the Loki song by NerdOut, and then A Proper End, which is a Stanley Parable song by Random Encounters. A lot of people have recommended Random Encounters in the comments, and it's about time I got to them, and I'm doing it because these two are both recent featured spots by the Stupendium on these songs. And I'd been on a kick of doing Stupendium things, and so this was just one more. Added these to the poll, and these were the clear winners. Speaking of the poll, if you want to help out the channel and vote on what songs you'd like to see me react to, I have a Patreon, and it's patreon.com/InsaneIan. There you get to see these videos early, vote on songs for me to react to, listen to songs by me. That's right, I'm a comedy musician too, and I do my own comedy songs, and I'm working on a new album coming out, hopefully in August, and we're previewing new songs there, and all sorts of other good stuff. On that channel, got more videos and ideas coming through. But anyway, all of that said, let's get into the videos. By the way, if you are new here, I do pause the videos to react to the lines as much as I can. I try to go to these from the perspective of a comedy musician, kind of give my feedback from that area, but sometimes it ends up being just, oh, that was really funny, or I really like that. I try to do a little bit of more creative criticism type reactions, but sometimes it just doesn't go that way. So we'll see. Every episode is different. Anyway, let's go on with Glorious Purpose. I haven't seen this week's new Loki yet. Yeah, it'll be good. Cool. The beat is real low.
On your roster, yeah, I'm the one you're waiting for. You swear I'm an imposter.
Speaking of imposter, NerdOut did a song that was a parody of Eminem and Rihanna's Monster about Among Us called Imposter. I was also working on that song at the same time, and they beat me to it. I'm not bitter, I swear.
But I've never told a lie before. You know you'd all do better on your knees, begging pretty please. The sooner that you see, you know this power, it was never for the weak. So leave it all to me, I'm here to set you free. One of a kind, on my own time. Ready or not, I'm the best around.
Really capturing Loki's swagger, as far as, you know, he's very self-confident, you could say. Loki is very sure of himself and very he's a god and he wants to rule, and that's very present in his first couple appearances in the MCU. As he's grown as a character, he's become more rounded, and that's an interesting aspect to the show, despite this being that early Loki, him becoming more rounded again, meaning that more rounded character has always been there. It just needed to be brought to the surface, and that's the kind of swagger that this first verse and chorus are bringing through. I dig that.
Lock me away, whatever you say. I'll be on top when the sun goes down. Burning with a purpose, and it's glorious, glorious.
And of course, his famous phrase from the Avengers movie, "I am burdened with glorious purpose." He also tries to use that in the first episode of the show. That's fantastic, and it's a great hook. And also, just on the video, of course, it's going to be a clip video, using shots from the movies and the TV show. But I like the way they integrated the lyrics in the, some of it's actually behind the shots we're seeing. So that's nice. I dig that.
Burning with a purpose, and it's glorious, glorious.
Well, had your whole life neat in place, but you chose to deviate. Come on in, have a seat, please wait. Take a ticket for your visit to the TVA. Every star that fades, every season's change. Every path you take isn't preordained. No fear to the dear to the sequence. Fate just paperwork. Even Stephen Strange is a footnote in a book. No librarian will ever leave through clock. What's there again? You think we'll kneel to Norse God variant? You could be pruned for, you're aware of it.
Norse gods variants, man. Clearly the Stupendium verse coming through with the speed and the really double triple wordplay. So good. But man, it's going by so fast you miss things, but there's really great lines in there.
The dear to the sequence. Fate just paperwork. Even Stephen.
Fate's just paperwork. Just like that, yeah.
Come on in, have a seat, please wait. Take a ticket for your visit to the TVA. Every star that fades, every season's change. Every path you take isn't preordained. No fear to the dear to the sequence. Fate just paperwork. Even Stephen Strange is a footnote in a book. No librarian will ever leave through clock. What's there again? You think we'll kneel to Norse God variant? You could be pruned for, you're aware of it. So you missed it as you're drifting from your set time. If you miss it, check the minutes, skip the red line.
We haven't seen this part yet. This is from the trailer. I haven't seen this part yet. I'm sure it's aired by now, but it's cool that they've put that in the video here, and just all the stuff on the variants and the different timelines.
One kneel to Norse God variant. You could be pruned for, you're aware of it. So you missed it as you're drifting from your set time. If you miss it, check the minutes, skip the red lines. We keep receipts on every second you spend as we endeavor to prevent another nexus of end.
Wow.
So we sever all forevers till eternity bends towards a destiny that's meant to be when everything ends.
One of a kind, on my own time. Ready or not, I'm the best around. Lock me away, whatever you say. I'll be on top when the sun goes down. Burning with a purpose, and it's glorious, glorious.
This is a great song.
Burning with a purpose, and it's
That hook is perfect.
You know this power, it was never for the weak, so leave it all to me. I'm here to set you free. One of a kind, on my own time. Ready or not, I'm the best around. Lock me away, whatever you say. I'll be on top when the sun goes down. Burning with a purpose.
I love that hit in the slow-mo.
Burning with a purpose, and it's glorious, glorious.
Cool. Alright, so that was Glorious Purpose by NerdOut. Really dug the song, but having Stupendium in it and having it be about Loki, I kind of assumed that it was going to be more of a comedic song, honestly. Not saying that Stupendium, everything he does is comedic. Far from it. He does a good diversified... I can't talk. He has a good diversity in his songs, that some songs are comedic and some songs are more serious. But I have noticed, at least in the few things that I've seen where he's been a featured artist on, he tends to bring the humor. On this one, not so much. More of a straightforward song about Loki, minus the humor that tends to be in the product that they're paying tribute to. Not that said, it's still an excellent song, but again, seeing as I'm coming at this from a comedy musician perspective, there's not a lot to comment on when there's not a lot of comedy in the song. So, alright, that's cool. Still really dig the song. Not really much of a reaction for that. However, that said, Random Encounters is a comedy band, so I've been told. So the Stanley Parable song is next, and I should be able to do a little bit better with that one, I hope. This episode could be very interesting. I've been told Random Encounters is a comedy group, so prepared for that. Yeah, well, let's move on to that. Although, I should say, I'm familiar with the game The Stanley Parable in that I know it's a game and I kind of know what it's about. Multiple endings and different ways to do things in the game, but I've never played it myself, so we'll see how that goes.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Jack from NerdOut, and I hope
Also,
you enjoyed our
support
song for
NerdOut.
Loki. Thank you to Stupendium for hopping on this one. His first time on the channel, so give him some love. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe.
Go,
if you're new.
you can, if you want to see the full video without me talking over it, in the description below.
Platforms. As always, we'll see you next weekend. Peace.
Discover and compare the smartest credit cards, mortgage lenders, and more, so you can make your money goals happen.
Brawler, it's time!
Go away!
And now, a proper end, a Stanley Parable song by Random Encounters featuring the Stupendium. 10 years. Before we get into that, I feel like there was another band called Random Encounters that I knew that I saw perform at Nerdapalooza several times, and know some members of the band. I think they were called Random Encounters. There's been so many video game acts that have a name similar to that. I know a band named Random Battles too, which is very close to Random Encounters, because it's an RPG trope. So the random encounters, the random battles that you have in those games, because you're walking along, you see no enemies, and then suddenly you're warped into a battle. Your Final Fantasies, your Chrono Triggers, stuff like that, your JRPGs, where random encounters are kind of a prevalent thing. There's a lot of video game bands, VGM bands, that will use that name, or at least something on the same lines as that name too. So I don't know if they were the same band. I don't know if it just had a similar name, but it's a thing. All right. Anyway. They have their own theme
This
music.
is the story of a man named Stanley. A simple man with a moderately simple job.
So there's, in the Stanley Parable game, so far as I know, there's kind of a narrator that kind of goes along and says the things that you as the player are supposed to do in the game. And he narrates, Stanley pushes a button. Stanley has one button, and he pushes that every day. And if you deviate from that, then the narrator goes, well, wait, what are you doing, Stanley? Or kind of tries to describe what Stanley is doing other than his task. He decided to get up and leave the room. So he narrates it as it happens, and having Stupendium come in and be the narrator for that, perfect.
To sit at his desk and push buttons all day long. His job was so simple, in fact, he could even work from home. And so Stanley sat pushing buttons all day without a thought in the world.
Obviously a pandemic time idea of working from home to help make this video shoot easier, possibly.
Until one day, his buttons stopped working. How could this be? How would he do his job? Stanley had to fix this. Stanley stepped out of his office through the door.
Ooh, not just rapping, singing. Also, love the Hang In There Kitten poster. Always quality.
Took the stairway up to check the second floor. To the right, Stanley kept his storage. That was where his instincts led. But instead of right, he set his sights on the room to the left instead. Stanley knew this room was not the proper choice. but he sat down and ignored his inner voice. This whole story thing was something Stanley couldn't comprehend. Let's start over and find a proper end.
Perfect summation of what you do in the game. Granted, it's not at Stanley's home, but as you lead through the game, that's why the game has so many different endings, is because whatever path you take could lead to the end of the game. And this, using live action footage as opposed to in-game footage for a song about a game is excellent. It helps to push that comedy edge to it, because there's nothing in the song about him walking into a pit of balls, but showing him walking into a ball pit in his home and slipping on that is elevating what you already say in the song. In a comedy music video, you want to have that purpose pushed further. You don't want having the video just do what the song says instead of adding to it is always a weird balance to try to strike when making a comedy music video. You want to be able to elevate the song's material more and not just blanket do exactly what is in the song, pushing that just a little bit further while not detracting from the lyrics. Not just having so many jokes in the video that you're kind of missing what the song is saying entirely too. So having that balance in that is always really good, and just this opening sequence already sets that up really, really well. Alright.
Stanley's buttons had blah, blah, blah. You know how
It starts
this
over
goes.
again, yeah.
Stanley had to fix this. Stanley took the right-hand door. No, Stanley, right. It appeared that Stanley wasn't very bright. Now the story's utter rubbish, and it's frankly all your fault. Your disdain for my directions brought our plot line to a halt. Let me see if I can get us back on course.
Escape.
Oh dear, now how'd we find ourselves outdoors?
Just the door standing there.
I admit this all seems foreign, but I loathe to recommend we start over and find a proper end.
And he's trapped in the desert, so it starts over again. I almost want a Monsters, Inc. thing of him opening the door sideways on the ground and falling through the ground, but, budgets.
Or at least something with air conditioning. Hang on, Stanley, I have an idea. Let's try something different. This should make our story shine the Stanley Parable Adventure line. Now the plot is much more clear. Why did it lead us into here? That's not right. Surely not. Is this much closer to the plot?
The baby on the stick with the button. Oh, that's good. And suddenly he's in Minecraft. Wow. Quality of expanding on the subject matter. So good.
The Stanley Parable Adventure line. Now the plot is much more clear. Why did it lead us into here? That's not right. Surely not. Is this much closer to the plot? How's it worse with every turn? Oh, isn't this a lovely fern? Well, isn't it? No, I suppose it isn't. My standards are just becoming painfully low. Stanley took the... Hold on, Stanley has disappeared. Stanley slept through his alarm, just as I feared.
Working from home, that's convenient to have your desk right across from your bed, although he is still in his office attire. Little details are great.
Well, our story doesn't need him. What did Stanley ever do? We'll find him a replacement, like you.
The cat?
Yes, it's perfect. This new Stanley's much improved. Other than the fact that Stanley hasn't moved. Come on, make us a decision. Think like Stanley. Play pretend. Oh, I wouldn't. Oh, you did. Then it's time for me to bid you and Stanley a proper end. But the video had so little budget that instead of a massive fiery explosion, it simply cut to black.
Perfect. Calling out the fact that the video has such a little budget. There's no explosion. Just, that's so choice. Exactly what you want to do as far as bringing comedy not just in the lyrics but also in the visuals. Bravo. Love it.
The audience waited, filled with questions. Was it over? Was Stanley dead? Where was the beard? Is that poor, handsome narrator out of a job? Oh, not to worry. I'm gainfully employed on YouTube now, making covers of the Stupendium songs.
Oh, perfect.
Say, Ori's aloof and kooky, Natsuki's sweet and cutesy, Yori is...
Redoing Okie Dokie in the narrator voice. Wow. It suddenly went all meta on us.
Deep and brooding, Monica's brains and beauty. It's all...
And that was a proper end to that video. Wow. The buttons fell. Oh no. The little tie on the cat is adorable.
Why you attack us? Burn salute.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the Stupendium for doing an awesome job. Go check out more of his music right there. The Stanley Parable is available right now on Steam, but you can also take it for a test run with us over on Replayed. As a reminder, you can support Random Encounters and the Stupendium over on Patreon. All of the behind-the-scenes content from this will be available on our bonus channel, RE Extra. Get that song down below if you liked it, and push those subscribe and bell buttons just like Stanley would. Beard salute! Ooh!
I don't get the beard salute thing or where the beard was, but I'm sure that's a running thing with their videos. This was my first Random Encounters video. That wasn't really so much featuring Stupendium as it was Stupendium and the Random Encounters guy performing as Stanley. Bravo, that was excellent. And that's more like what I try to do on this show. Yeah. Go support the Random Encounters channel. You can check out the untalked over version of the video down in the description. Same with the NerdOut song. Links are below. Also support both of those channels, and if you're kind enough, maybe support mine. Likes, share, comment, subscribe. I almost said like, share, comment, surprise! Like, that's a thing that people say, whatever. Yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. Really helps out the channel, helps to get these onto more eyeballs, and I appreciate that. Anyway, that's all of this. We'll see you next week with some more, hopefully, comedy music videos, reactions here on A Comedy Musician Reacts. Thanks very much. Bye. I kind of want to play Stanley Parable and push a lot of buttons.
Well, we dated long ago. You said my devotion was sweet, so how was I to know that when you moved in you'd be so appalled at my room 'cause your pictures covered my walls? So you packed up your shit and ran out the door.